Hey guys,
Okay.
it's Jean Case. I'm CEO of the Case Foundation, and by way of background, I spent my private sector career in technology, helping to build the AOL service and take it forward. But in my role at the foundation, we've backed about 3 giving platforms that to date have provided over $1 billion in micro donations. So when I saw what you guys are doing, got excited and said, hey, I want to talk to these guys. So a pleasure to be with you this morning.
Great, thank you, thank you. My name is Ben Lamson. I'm one of the co-founders, background in sales and consulting, and we're located here in New York City.
And I'm Susani. I'm a co-founder and CEO of WeDidIt. My background is in sales as well as investment banking. And like Ben said, we're from New York City, and I also live in Brooklyn, as well as the rest of the team too.
Great, great. Couple questions I have. You're entering a pretty crowded field. There's a lot of crowdsourcing, fundraising, nonprofit-focused kind of platforms. How do you guys see yourselves differentiating? That wasn't entirely clear.
Yep, and I'm glad you noticed that it wasn't clear. We're definitely going through a rebranding right now. We saw an opportunity to tackle 2 big pain points. One, donor acquisition through volunteer fundraising efforts, as well as in-person fundraising. And right now, we're really looking to be kind of, I don't want to say the square for nonprofits, but really the mobile solution for taking donations in person, whether you're a staff member or you're a supporter located anywhere. We want to provide you with a mobile app that you can download and start taking donations on behalf of an organization you support.
And how are you guys breaking through with nonprofits? I presume the business model right now, you're trying to grow the number of nonprofits you have relationships with. Is that right?
Yep.
That's correct.
We come from a background in B2B sales, so we are very familiar with just finding a potential lead, picking up the phone, and introducing ourselves and our product. And that's how we have grown to date. We've been fortunate to not make a big impact, about 150 clients. But enough that we're generating enough revenue to keep ourselves afloat and bring on new talent and expand the team.
So
I would definitely say though that, I would definitely say that there is a pain point that we have with acquiring new customers. We would like to shorten our sales cycle.
Yeah.
As you probably know, when you're working with large organizations or nonprofits, they tend to move slower. So we want to figure out ways to make people more comfortable with our service, as well as really understand our value proposition so that we can, turn over sales a lot more quickly.
yeah, I had a couple thoughts when I looked at your deck and listened to what you guys were doing. Are you using a leveraged model at all whereby you're working with organizations that aggregate either nonprofits or the other side, which is funders of nonprofits who might be interested in funding this on their behalf?
Yeah, a great question. We're definitely trying to crack that nut. It's definitely in our roadmap as being an easy way for distribution, going after umbrella organizations. You may be familiar with Catch-A-Fire.
Yeah,
I feel like
sure.
they've been featured on the Foundation's website. Yep. So we have a partnership with Catch-A-Fire, which has allowed us to access their network of about 2,500 nonprofits. And we're essentially trying to duplicate that model of partnerships for a much quicker process for client acquisition.
So you have 100.
We haven't yet actually.
Go ahead, Sue. I'm sorry.
Sorry. No worries. We haven't yet worked with any funders of nonprofit organizations. So when you did bring that up, I thought that was a very interesting idea and something that we'd like to perhaps explore a little bit further. But like Ben said, we have a couple of partnerships that represent a model that we would like to duplicate. But definitely any way that we can get in the door faster and introduce ourselves to people would be the first step forward.
Yeah, we should probably talk more about that. There are a few, I think, strategic places you guys could be where there's an aggregation of either nonprofits or the groups that fund them, where maybe through one setting you could get a lot of new clients or at least grow the interest level. So you have 150 now. How do you see your scale? What do you want to do?
Honestly, we're right now, our initial product was at a price point that only maybe 20% of the market could afford. Our initial product was $5,000 for 12 months. We're really trying to scale that down and offer products that start closer to $500 a year so we can attack 98% of the market. Long-term growth with our mobile app at the lower price point, we would love to be in a position to be acquiring, between 20 and 40,000 organizations within 3 to 4 years.
The way we think we're going to be able to do that is through partnerships. Your suggestion about partnering with corporate funders, as well as continue to partner with umbrella organizations, is one avenue. We're also trying to play around with, a concept where we allow independent or like freelance fundraisers or volunteers to spread the news about crowdfunding and WeDidIt to their own, organizations, friends, and family. But right now, it's still definitely in the infantile stages. But we're looking at different ways of trying to get ourselves out there for sure.
Yeah, you might want to look at dividing your market up a little bit. I do think you're limiting yourselves by your price point right now, so I'm encouraged to hear that you're thinking about how to bring that down. I think from a broad standpoint with nonprofits, you're going to have to look at lowering the cost, but you could have some premium things that you do with some partners, whether they be companies that do employee campaigns, where they're larger sort of pay per service kind of revenue opportunities.
Right. Yeah. Gene, I had a question for you.
Sure.
So from a corporate funder standpoint, what would be their interest or the benefit in working with a company like ours, where they would essentially push us out to their, list of nonprofits or supporters from the past?
Sure. Well, I spend probably about, I don't know, maybe a quarter of my time working with the corporate sector. And the corporate sector is really changing. They understand that philanthropy is becoming democratized and that they shouldn't do their philanthropy in a silo. They want to engage their employees and in some cases their consumers. So I think they're really excited by platforms that could allow sort of a knitting together or even a matched kind of environment to exist. And I think that so a platform like yours could be really attractive for them.
Yeah, we've actually had some success in the past getting matching donations to crowdfunding campaigns, but they've come about through happenstance. There was just some, random person who was inspired, and he worked for an organization or a corporation, and they sent in a matching donation. But we would like to make this a little bit more systematic, or actually have a program where this can, be in place and further connect the corporate sector and the nonprofit sector.
Right. Well, I see we're supposed to be in wrap-up mode now, so I just want to thank you guys for the time we've spent. Look forward to continuing the conversation. It sounds like there are some unique opportunities, but also challenges. So hope we have a continuing dialogue, and good luck with all that you're doing.
Great.
Thank you.
Gene, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thanks.